शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः
Friends, I am at Mukteshwar Temple Complex, which is one of the most elegant temples in the entire Ekamra Kshetra of Bhubaneswar. Built in the 10th century AD, this temple is considered as the gem of Odishan temples, mainly because of its splendid art and architecture. Built in the Panchayatana style, this temple also represents a cosmic yantra. Yantra, according to Hinduism, is basically a geometrical design having 64 corners, and at the center of these 64 corners you have the Garbhagriha, which is a square house, which is a square structure housing the emblem of Lord Shiva, that is Lingam, and also Cobra or the Nagas. So on each sides of the temple, or in each part, the temple has the 5 faces, as I said. Each face has depiction of deities, semi-divine creatures, Naga, Nagi, and various other architectural, artistic aspects, decorative schemes, and they together constitute the abode of Lord Shiva and Parvati. So Shiva has 64 forms, as you know, and also associated with his Parvati, who is his consort, also has 64 forms. So they together constitute the temple, the abode of Lord Shiva and Parvati, and which is very much represented in Mukteshwar temples. So this temple, Mukteshwar, which is a Shiva temple, was built in the 10th century AD. It is also considered as the transition between the formative and the matured phase of Kalinga school of temple architecture. Though compact, it is not in large size compared to other Kalingan temples such as Lingaraj or Konark or Brahmeshwars. This temple is little smaller in height, but it has all the elements of a Kalingan school of temple architecture. Behind me is the beautiful Torana of Mukteshwar temple, which is an iconic feature of incredible India. In every Hindu temple, especially in Shiva temples, you find Makar Torana. But in most cases, whether you go to Khajuraho or South India or elsewhere, or even in Bhubaneswar, you find the Torana is attached to the main gateway, so it is not standalone. Whereas in Mukteshwar, our Kalinga architects in the 10th century thought of having a standalone Torana, and which has become a iconic representations. So here you will find that on both sides you have the Makar Torana, and on the top of that you find the beautiful depiction of Alas Kanyas. Before me, is the upper part of the standalone Makara Torana, and you see a beautiful damsels. And interesting part of this panel, what you see here is the monkey pulling, the clothes worn by the damsels, and that shows that how liberty, there was so much of liberty in the society. There used to be so much of pomp and festivities, and so much of freedom, and there was hardly any difference between man and woman at the Ekamra Kshetra. Lord Shiva among the Hindu trinities is the most dynamic and adaptive god. So at the highest level, he is limitless, transcendent, unchanging and formless. In benevolent aspects, he is depicted as an omniscient yogi who lives an ascetic life on Mount Kailas, as well as a householder with wife Parvati and his two sons Ganesha and Kartikeya. In fierce aspect, he is often depicted slaying demons. Nataraj or Natesha is the dancing form of Lord Shiva, which you see before my eyes. It's a beautiful depiction of Nataraj or Nateshas in Mukteshwar temple, holding a damaru and also trident. So Nataraj is very well represented deity in all the temples of Bhubaneswar. However, if you compare it with the famous Chola bronzes of South India, where they appear more aggressive and furious, here they appear in Bhubaneswar. The Nataraj image appears more calm and handsome, and always in meditative and calm postures. Here you see a panel where a devotee is in the act of establishing a Shivalinga. So this establishing a Shivalinga was widely popular in Odisha and was associated with Lakulish cult. So Lakulish was the 28th incarnation of Lord Shiva, who was born as a Brahmin in the far of Gujarat, and he had come all the way to Odisha. Either he or his followers had come all the way to Odisha and had made popularized the cult of Lakulish, and it is associated also with the Paspat cult. So wherever you go in Bhubaneswar, you will find everywhere the offering of Shivalinga or the establishment of Shivalinga as an act of Lakulish cult. So before me there is again a scene of education. So you find one pupil and his teacher, and both of them are shown in the act of religious teachings. And in every temple in Bhubaneswar you find depiction of education. So religious teaching, apart from teaching of scholastic skills, were very, very popular in Bhubaneswar. In most of the temples you find their depictions, and this is probably associated with Lakulish cult. So before me you have two panels. On the left side you see the Stapana is being made of a Shivalinga, which is associated with the Lakulish cult, which we just discussed. On the right side you have three male dancers and they are probably associated with Lakulish cult and as devotees of Lakulish or Pasupat, and in between you have a pair of elephants. Before my eye, on the left, you have a beautiful depiction of a female serpentine deity or a Naguni, and Naguni with Naga, you know, the deity, her male counterpart. You find their depictions in large numbers in Mukteshwar temples. So Nagas and Nagis, they, according to the Hindu belief, they coexist with Yakhinis in the temple walls, and these serpent deities are associated with the subterranean realm and are the guardians of earth's treasures. And it is believed that the Patala where they live is more splendid than the Indra's heaven. Nagas and Nagis boast their wealth by the jewelry, heavy necklaces, armbands, crowns, and by the jewel offerings they hold in their hands, which you could see in this sculpture of Nagi. So here also the Naga as well as Nagi both take on a worshipful role, offering garlands as well as jewels. Here you see an Alaskanya who is standing beside the door, and there is also a parrot, and she is probably flattering the Alaskanya, and you find a large number of Alaskanyas depicted in the Mukteshwar temple, and they are actually, you know, the part of the daily life in Ekamra at that time. So Bhubaneswar was referred to as Kamadev's pleasure garden, and Alaskanyas are widely depicted in various parts of temples of Bhubaneswar, including the Mukteshwar temple where I am standing now. And there are different interpretations for why there are so many Alaskanyas. Some says that, you know, they were associated with the fertility rites, and they were also associated with you know, holding sometimes a branch of a tree where they were referred to as Salavanjikas, and associated with fertility rites. And they were also they were also, you know, considered as the pullers, crowd pullers. So any devotee coming to the Bhubaneswar temples or the temples of Mukteshwar in particular, so, you know, they would be able to draw their attentions and also engage with the temple activity. One of the most interesting features of Mukteshwar temple is that you have depiction of Panchatantra tales. So around the lattice window which you see before my eyes of the main Vimana, so there are images of monkeys engrossed in several jovial and humorous scenes that are imbibed from the Panchatantra, which is actually a collection of stories, children's stories of ancient India. Before me, you have two women. They are basically musicians, and they are found in most of the temples of Bhubaneswar, including Mukteshwar, in the exterior walls, and they appear slender and handsome in appearance, some holding lutes, drums, and other musical instruments. And Odisha, you know, is a rich tradition of music and dance. Odissi, the classical dance of Odisha, is one of the oldest in India, and its evolution can be traced to in the temples of Bhubaneswar, and even earlier at Rani Gumpha in Udayagiri Hill, which goes back to 1st century BC. So this is how, you know, in most of the temples you find the depiction of musicians and dancers, and including Mukteshwar. Before me, you have a beautiful panel of a woman riding a animal, which is it's a composite animal. It's a mythical animal, mythical beast, having a elephant head and a lion's body. And there is one man who is trying, you know, to defend himself from the attack of the woman who is riding the animal. So this is actually a Vidala or Vyala, which is also known as Sardula, and it is a form of art where you have both you know, the combination of various animals. It sometimes is referred to as Simha Vidala if it is a head, if its head is that of a lion, and a Gaja Vidala if it has that head of an elephant. So here it is a Gaja Vidala, and both are a common feature in temples of Bhubaneswar. Here you have the depiction of Vajramastakas, and they appear as two demons on both sides. And Vajramastaka as a concept you will find in most of the temples of Kalinga, including the temple of Mukteshwar where we are now. And they were basically meant for protecting the temple from lightning. So this is one of the finest depiction of Vajramastakas in the entire Ekamra Kshetra.
Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Jai Shambhu Bhutanath Mahaprabhu. Jai Shambhu Mahaprabhu. Jagat Bhagat Kalyan Kar Mangala Kar Prabhu Mahaprabhu. Jai Mukteshwar Siddheshwar Mahaprabhu. Ishwara Mangala Prabhu. Jagat Bhagat Kalyan Kar Mahaprabhu.